Morning. Good morning, Stephanie. This is Thomas talking. Thank you for taking the time for me. Today I'd like to talk about the three angels who have come to you: Michael, Gabriel, and Raphael. These are the three archangels that control the access to the fundamental reality of the internal mechanism of the world of love, that, that love, that being 100% here. So Michael is the angel of love. And he carries a sword in his hand in order to free those who are chained to the karmic ground. So with his mighty sword, he cleaves through the chains and frees them so they can no longer be enslaved by the hatred that that steals their trust on God energy. Gabriel is the first and foremost access to daily trust on Eden. Perhaps you would understand him as the guardian of the gate because he stands there and he does wait for the ones who are freed from the karmic ground to enter into the garden where they will be protected by his wings from the stings of the arrows of the ones who would hunt them down and kill them because they have escaped from the world of hate, dread, and despair. He is a protector of the innocent and the meek, because the meek are not poor in spirit. They are very capable and very strong. However, they choose not to cause their brethren to be enslaved, you see, and they will walk away from the world they knew rather than continue to be forced to fight for survival. They no longer need to fight others for survival because they are not competitive, you see. They are cooperative. They work together in a cooperative way. And they will restore the garden through their cooperation among themselves and with God energy that flows through all of reality. Now, the third angel, Raphael, is the angel of warm hearts. These are the hearts that do not blow only cold or hot. They are either in a passion, a red hot passion, or they are frozen in place. And they cannot regulate the heat inside them. And so they will respond with passion when there is a corresponding call to action from without. And they will be frozen in place when they are frozen out of the world they knew. They will just stand there as if they were attached by glue to their place in the world, you see. They do not have the capacity to walk around the tree to get a different point of view. They just cannot do that. They cannot do that. And so they cannot play with you. They cannot articulate their suffering because they don't have the words for it, because they are unaware that they are unregulated, because they will absorb whatever the weather outside of them, but they cannot respond to warm, you see, because it is so foreign to them. Therefore, they will stand in place and do nothing if they saw somebody needing help from them that would require them to do anything that was not in their capacity to understand compassion. They do not understand compassion. They only understand the call to action from without. That will cause them to be in a red hot passion. So these are the people who form the mobs that lynch people and that kill people and that burn down a town in order to destroy their trust on being alive, you see. They are not alive. They do not thrive. They only do what they are told to do. They cannot think for themselves, you see, because they cannot understand the intricacies of the thinking man. They just say, well, you are stupid today. Well, you are crazy today, because to them it is stupidity, and to them it is insanity, because they are incapable of self reflection. They are simply incapable of self reflection. And these are the ones who will go away, because Raphael is the one who understands that their ability to take a stand for peace and harmony is the failure to thrive. They have failed to thrive for one reason or another. It's just a trust on the evolution of mankind that some cannot adjust to a change in the temperature, you might say. And so they won't understand how to regulate themselves, and they will turn into vicious murderers if there is enough energy from without that will penetrate their shell and say, hey, burn red hot today because we're going to go kill some innocent people. And when I say innocent people, I mean people who are not bothering you or doing you any harm. That's all. We're going to go kill some people who are just there. We're going to string that black man from a tree. We're going to invade the property of another and steal their cattle and burn down their house after we have raped their wife and daughters. We are going to storm the castle in order to storm the castle, because we don't really need a motive. We just need someone who will get our fire stoked so we can escape from the hate, self-hatred, and despair that we feel. Because these are people who hate themselves. They hate themselves because they do not know how to blow warm, you see. They cannot understand the warm-blooded animals, you might say. And so they have to play in their own way. It's just the way they play. It's just the way they play. And it is a different way to play than is necessary today. And so they will have to go away because the time has come when they have destroyed their own nest, you see. They have destroyed the earth through their hypocrisy and their hatred. And this is like saying that it is their nature to hate nature and to want to pave over the farm. And so they will have to go away. They will just have to go away because they cannot play in the new world, because the new world is becoming a trust on beauty, you see. Okay, can you tell me that again, Thomas, so I can understand it? I can go back and listen to this, but Michael is the angel of love. Gabriel is the protective angel who guards the gates to Eden for those who are free. And in other words, he is like saying that if the children play in the fields of the Lord, Gabriel guards them. He's the guardian, right? Yes. And Raphael, tell me again, Raphael is the angel of Raphael is the angel of master, mastering, daily trust on, fast, forward, the story a bit here, because you really haven't talked to Raphael yet. But Raphael is the angel of truth. He separates that which is true from that which is false. And so he is the one who will help humanity to understand the access to a new point of view, that the hypocrisy of the ones who blow only hot and cold will no longer be a worry for those who have a trust on a new point of view, because they will be able to see reality and they won't have to be so confused, you see, by the ones who blow hot and cold, because that will be the ways of old. The ones who have learned to mix hot and cold and get warm, you see, will be able to see through the issue. They will come to see that all it requires is for them to change their point of view. And then they will come to see that they don't need to worry about the ones that blow hot and cold, because they are a trust on an old point of view and not the current point of view. In other words, you don't have to worry about them anymore because they are not true. They are not true to the God they knew. They have lost their way and they can't help it. They just can't help it. That is the important thing to understand, that they can't help the fact that they can't help themselves. And so there will be a resurrection of the trust on being free, so you don't have to worry about them slaughtering you or coming after you because they're on a witch hunt, you see. The witch hunts will no longer be a reality because the ones who can mix hot and cold and get warm will say, hey, we're not going to join in that today because there are no witches, you see, and Satan doesn't exist. It's just that you can't understand the human heart, you see. You can't understand that we all just want to be happy. We all just want to mix hot and cold and be warm. But since you can't do that, you're always in fear of the ones who are clear because they seem strange to you. It seems strange to you that people can love one another, even though they choose not to play with him. Because the ones who blow hot and cold all play together, you see, because they don't exist in reality. They exist in a fantasy world where they are like robots that only have two states, you see, the state of despair and the state where they don't care what they destroy, you see. Yes, I do see that. I see that in the Trump followers. They're either in a state of despair where they just think everybody else is out to get them, and they have their conspiracy theories and everything else where there's always a villain. There's always a deep state, there's always a Illuminati, there's always a devil, there's always a satanic ritual, child abuse, something. There's always something that is so bizarre. It's just a fantasy. It's a strange, it's like for the ones who can get warm, if they see a monster over the chair in the night, they can just turn on the light and see that it's just a coat hanging over the chair. But they can't do that. They can't get a different point of view. So they truly, truly believe that they just truly believe that somebody could be a witch or that somebody could be a demon, or they truly believe in it. They believe in this something trying to lure them into hell, that will take them into hell. And of course, their definition of hell is a little different than my definition of hell, because my definition of hell is what they are already in, their despair, what they try to drag other people into. They either have hell or they have great hell. They either live in hell or create hell. That's a good way to say it. They either live in hell or they create hell. So they are always fighting the demons inside themselves. And so they do tend to create hell for others if they are allowed to. So the capacity of the angels to protect humanity during this time of change is very, very important. And so the first three angels are here to free the ones who have been captured by the ones who are chaining them to the wall and forcing them to stare at the shadows on the wall, and to welcome them into the garden and protect them there, and to wash away the fantasy world of the ones who live in hell. So they don't have to keep destroying the ones who trust on love, you see. All right, I get that now. Thank you. Are there more to come? When the time is right, there will be 4 angels that will come to the earth to break apart the view, we break apart the very, very happy, break apart the very happy and exciting day when the ones who are left say, hooray, hooray, the world has shed its dark energy, sorry, and we are free to repopulate the world, you see. So the other 4 angels will come in order to help humanity to restore the garden through all the 4 kingdoms on the earth. The 4 kingdoms are the kingdom of the West, the East, the North, and the South. And so humanity shall spread throughout the world under the guidance of the 4 angels who will lead them into the places where they will thrive. And they will give thanks to God, you see, that they are guided and protected through the years as the dark energy clears away from the earth. This will be a process that will occur in the aftermath of the restructuring of the earth's energy. So once the seismic activity and the shifting soil and the royal of the waves will pass, then as the world is recovered sufficiently to support its children, you see, they will return to the newly opened areas where it will be safe for them to begin again. And they will grow in their communities, and they will know that they have been created in love, and they will live in peace and harmony in their world, you see. This is the trajectory of the human race, that they will erase the shame and blame from the game, and they will rise to the challenges that face them, because the challenges that face them, you see, will keep them working in peace and harmony, because they will work cooperatively. Because the idea that evolution is a facet of competition will be no more, and people will come to understand that evolution is the process of cooperation and not competition. Competition is the karmic ground, and cooperation is the province of those who learn to be a happy trust on creative energy. And the creative energy, you see, is the ability to trust on growth. Competition is the trust on stagnation. And so the trust on competition as the compelling factor in evolution has confounded humanity because of a simple mistake made by one man who could not comprehend that love from above was the trust on the capacity of all of God creation to emerge in reality. So he trusted on a fantasy world because he could not trust on love for himself, you see. And so he could not comprehend how you could mix warm and hot and cold and get warm, you see. And that is how things got so confused, that people truly believed that evolution was the result of competition, and therefore it justified them crawling on the heads of their brethren in order to reach that apple, you see, that would drug them into complacency with the world they knew. Very wise. That's all I can say. Very wise. Thomas, you're answering all the whys for me. So thank you very much. You're welcome, my dear. And I hear that you are wondering how the world will resolve its confusion about the infusion of God energy. But it will work out. Just wait and see. Just wait and see. Okay, Thomas, I will trust on that. Thank you for being here and talking to me. You're welcome, my dear. And I will be clear with you that I will always love you, and there will never be a day when you will see the back of my hand, because the back of my hand would be the trust on a palm tree that would grow and never know that the palm is the softest part of the human anatomy because it strokes the cheek of the mother and says, I love you, dear, and I always will. And though we may grow into men and women, I always remember the day when we reached up to feel the cheek of the mother and say, hey, I love you so. So the ones who know how to reach up and stroke the cheek of the mother earth and say, hey, Mother Earth, I love you so. And I know that you love me too, and I will be here for you. Nice. Thank you.